Never outshine the master. The first law of power. Do not showcase your superior talents. It will make those above you dislike you and be very wary of you. Make them feel comfortably superior and more brilliant than they are, and you will attain the heights of power. Man, I wish I knew that one earlier. Once your mentor notices your true potential, they will hold back. You don't want that. You want to be like the sponge and absorb as much information and knowledge as you can in order to help you attain heights of power. And now you know why you should never outshine the master. Follow for law number 2. Never outshine the master. The first law of power. Do not showcase your superior talents. It will make those above you dislike you and be very wary of you. Make them feel comfortably superior and more brilliant than they are, and you will attain the heights of power. Man, I wish I knew that one earlier. Once your mentor notices your true potential, they will hold back. You don't want that. You want to be like the sponge and absorb as much information and knowledge as you can in order to help you attain heights of power. And now you know why you should never outshine the master. Follow for law number 2. Conceal your intentions. The third law of power. Keep people off balance and in the dark by never revealing the purpose behind your actions. If they have no clue what you're up to, they cannot prepare a defense. Guide them far enough down the wrong path. Envelope them in enough smoke. And by the time they realize your true intentions, it will be too late. Follow for law number 4. Engaging in a discussion, always say less than necessary. The fourth law of power. Powerful people impress and intimidate by saying less. But why though, right? This gives off a sense of power, as if they know more than they actually do. Listen, the more you say, the more common you appear, the more likely you are to say something foolish. The game of power. A lot of it has to do with appearances. Follow for law number 5. Your reputation with your life. The fifth law of power. Through reputation alone, you can intimidate and win. Once this slips, however, you will be vulnerable and you will be attacked on all sides. Make your reputation unassailable. Meanwhile, learn to destroy your enemies by opening holes in their own reputations. Then just stand aside and watch public opinion hang them. Follow for law number 5. Attention at all costs. Law number 6. At the start of your career, you must attach your name and your reputation to a quality, an image that sets you apart from other people. I mean, for me personally, it's the luxurious lifestyle that I live. Draw attention to yourself by creating an unforgettable, even controversial image. Make yourself a magnet of attention by appearing larger, more colorful, more mysterious than the bland and timid masses. Follow for law number 7. Others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. The 7th law of power. Use the wisdom, knowledge, and legwork of other people to further your own cause. Not only will such a system save you valuable time and energy, but it will give you a godlike aura of efficiency and speed. Try to streamline most aspects of your journey. This will help accelerate your progress by focusing on other areas of growth. Never do yourself what others can do for you. Follow for law number 8. Other people come to you, use bait if necessary. The 8th law of power. When you force the other person to act, in this situation, you're in control. It is always better to make your opponent come to you, abandoning his own plans in the process. Lure him with fabulous gains, and then attack. At that point, you hold the cards. Follow for law number 9. Through action, never through argument. Any momentary triumph you think you may have gained through argument is really just a Pyrrhic victory. The resentment and ill will that you stir up is stronger and lasts longer than any temporary change of opinion. It is much more powerful to get others to agree with you through your actions without saying a single word. And that's how you win through actions, never through argument. Follow for law number 10. Action. Avoid the unhappy, avoid the unlucky. You could die from someone else's misery. Emotional states are as infectious as diseases. You may feel like you're helping the drowning man, but in reality, you're precipitating your own disaster. The unfortunate sometimes draw misfortune onto themselves. They will also draw it onto you. Instead, associate with the happy and the fortunate. Follow for law number 11. Things you need in order to maintain your independence. 1. You must be needed. 2. You must be wanted. Learn to keep people dependent on you. The 11th law of power. The more you are relied on, the more freedom you have. Man, I wish I knew that one earlier. Make people depend on you for their happiness and their prosperity. Never ever teach them enough where they can do it without you, and you have nothing to fear. Follow for law number 12. Selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. The 12th law of power. One sincere and honest move will cover over dozens of dishonest ones. Open-hearted gestures of honesty and generosity bring down the guard of even the most suspicious people. Once your selective honesty penetrates a hole in the enemy's armor, you can then deceive and manipulate them at will. A timely gift, a Trojan horse, will serve the same purpose. Asking for help, appeal to their self-interest, never to their mercy or gratitude. The 13th law of power. Do not bother reminding them of past assistance and good deeds. They will find a way to ignore you. Instead, uncover something in your request or in your alliance with him that will benefit him and emphasize it out of all proportions. He will respond enthusiastically when there's something to be gained for himself.
Follow for law number 14. As a friend, but work as a spy. The 14th law of power. Knowing about your rivals is critical. Use spies that will gather valuable information that will keep you a step ahead. Ask indirect questions that will get your rivals to reveal their weakness and their intentions. Learn to make others talk endlessly about themselves. Speak when only necessary. Follow for law 15. Your enemy totally. The 15th law of power, my favorite law. All great leaders since Moses have known that a feared enemy must be crushed completely. I'm talking annihilated. If one ember is left alight, no matter how dimly it smolders, eventually a fire will break it. The enemy will eventually recover and will seek revenge. Crush him, not only in body but in spirit. And that is why you should crush your enemy totally. Follow for more. You are seen and heard from, the more common you appear.
Use absence to increase respect and honor. The 16th law of power. If you are already established in a group, temporary withdrawal from it will make you more talked about and even admired. Too much circulation makes the price go down. Create value through scarcity. Follow for law 17. Others suspended in terror cultivate an air of unpredictability. The 17th law of power. Humans are creatures of habit with a need to see familiarity in other people's actions. Your predictability gives them a sense of control. Be deliberately unpredictable. Behavior that seems to have no consistency or purpose will keep them off balance. They will wear themselves out trying to explain your move. Taken to an extreme, this strategy can intimidate and terrorize. Follow for law 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. The 18th law of power. The world is dangerous and enemies are everywhere. Everyone has to protect themselves. A fortress may seem the safest, but isolation exposes you to more danger than it protects you from. It cuts you off from valuable information. It makes you conspicuous and an easy target. Better to circulate among people, find allies and mingle. You are shielded from your enemies by the coward. Follow for law 19. Who you're dealing with, do not offend the wrong person. The 19th law of power. There are many different kinds of people in this world, and you can never assume that everyone will react to your strategies in the same way. If you deceive or outmaneuver some people, they will spend the rest of their lives seeking revenge. They are wolves in lamb's clothing. Choose your victims and your opponents wisely. Follow for law 20. The fool who always rushes to take sides. Do not commit to anyone. The 20th law of power. Do not commit to any side or cause but yourself. By maintaining your independence, you become the master of others, playing people against one another, making them pursue you. Follow for law 21. A sucker to catch a sucker, seem dumber than your mark. The 21st law of power. No one likes feeling stupider than the next person. The trick then is to make your victims feel smart, and not just smart, but smarter than you are. Once convinced of this, then they will never suspect that you have ulterior motives. Follow for law 22. The surrender tactic transforms weakness into power. The 22nd law of power. When you are weak, never fight for honor's sake. Instead, choose to surrender. Surrendering gives you time to recover, time for his powers to wane. Do not give him the satisfaction of fighting you and defeating you. Surrender first. By turning the other cheek, you infuriate and unsettle him. Make surrender a tool of power. Follow for law 23. Serve your forces and energies by keeping them concentrated at their strongest point. The 23rd law of power. Let me explain this. You gain more from finding a rich mine and digging deeper than jumping from one shallow mine to the other. Intensity defeats extensity every single time. When looking for sources of power to elevate you, find the key patron, the fat cow that will give you milk for a long time to come. Follow for law 24. The perfect courtier. The 24th law of power. The perfect courtier thrives in a world where everything revolves around power and political dexterity. He has mastered the art of indirection. He flatters, yields to superiors, and he asserts power over others in the most oblique and graceful manner. Learn to apply the laws of courtiership, and there's absolutely no limit as to how high you rise in the court ranks. Follow for law 25. Recreate yourself. The 25th law of power. Do not accept the roles that society forces upon you. Recreate yourself by forging a new identity, one that commands attention and never bores the audience. Be the master of your own image rather than letting others define it for you. Incorporate dramatic devices into your public gestures and action. Your powers will be enhanced and your character will seem larger than life. Follow for law 26. Keep your hands clean. The 26th law of power. You must seem like a paragon of civility and efficiency. Your hands must never be soiled by mistakes or nasty deeds. Maintain such a spotless appearance by using others as scapegoats to disguise your involvement. Follow for law 27. on people's need to believe in order to create a cult-like following. The 27th law of power. People have an overwhelming desire to believe in something. Become the focal point of such a desire by offering them a cause, a new perspective to follow. Keep your words vague but full of promises. Give your new disciples rituals to perform. Ask them to sacrifice on your own behalf. This new belief system will bring you untold powers. Follow for law 28. Enter action with boldness. The 28th law of power. If you are unsure of your course of action, do not attempt it. Your doubts and hesitation will infect your execution. Timidity is dangerous. Better to enter with boldness. Any mistakes you commit through audacity are easily corrected with more audacity. Everyone admires the bold, but no one honors the timid. Follow for law 29. And all the way to the end. The 29th law of power. The ending is everything. Plan all the way to it, taking into account all the possible consequences, obstacles, and twists of fortune, which might reverse your hard work and give the glory to others. By planning to the end, you will not be overwhelmed by circumstances, and you will know when to stop. Gently guide fortune and help determine the future by thinking ahead. Follow for law 30. Your accomplishments seem effortless. The 30th law of power. Your actions must seem natural and executed with ease. When you act effortlessly, as if you could do so much more. Avoid the temptation of revealing how hard you truly work. It only raises questions. Teach no one your tricks, or they will be used against you. Follow for law 31. Control the options. Get others to play with the cards that you deal. The 31st law of power. The best deceptions are the ones that seem to give the other person a choice. Your victims feel like they are in control, but are actually just your puppets. Give people options which come out in your favor, whichever one they choose. Force them to make a choice between the lesser of two evils, both which serve your purpose. Follow for law 32. To people's fantasies. The 32nd law of power. Life is harsh. The truth is often avoided because it is ugly and unpleasant. Never appeal to truth or reality unless you are prepared for the anger that comes from disenchantment. People who can manufacture romance or conjure up fantasies are seen like an oasis in the desert. Everyone flocks to them. There is great power in tapping into the fantasies of the masses. Follow to learn more. Discover each man's thumbscrew. The 33rd law of power. Everyone has a weakness, a little gap in the castle wall. Some people wear their weakness openly, others disguise them. That weakness is usually an insecurity, an uncontrollable emotion or need. It can also be a secret guilty pleasure. Either way, if found, it is a thumbscrew that you can use for your own advantage. Follow to learn more. Act like a king to be treated like one. The 34th law of power. The way you carry yourself will often determine how you are treated. In the long run, appearing vulgar or common will make people disrespect you. For a king respects himself and inspires sentiment in others. By acting regally and confident, you make yourself seem destined to wear a crown. Follow to learn more. Master the art of timing. The 35th law of power. Never seem to be in a hurry. Hurrying portrays a lack of control over yourself and over time. Always seem patient, as if you know that everything will come to you eventually. Learn to stand back when the time is not yet right, and to strike fiercely when it has reached fruition. Such are the trends that will carry you to power. Follow to learn more. Memorize this line. The less interest you reveal, the more superior you seem. Disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. The 36th law of power. By acknowledging a petty problem, you give it existence and credibility. The more attention you pay an enemy, the stronger you make him. A small mistake is often made worse and more visible when you try to fix it. It is often best just to leave things alone. If there is something you want but you cannot have, show contempt for it. Follow to learn more. Create compelling spectacles. The 37th law of power. Striking imagery and grand symbolic gestures create the aura of power. Everyone responds to them. Stage spectacles for those around you, full of beautiful visuals, radiant symbols that just heighten your presence. Dazzled by appearances, no one will know what you're really doing. Follow to learn more. Think as you like, but behave like others. The 38th law of power. If you make a show of going against the grain, flaunting your unconventional ideas and unorthodox methods, people will only think that you're looking for attention and that you look down upon them for not having the same mentality as you. They will even find a way to punish you for making them feel inferior. I fully relate to this law. Like, I can write a book about this. It's just much safer to blend in and nurture the common touch. Share your originality, but only with your friends or those who are sure to appreciate your uniqueness. Follow to learn more. You must always stay calm and objective.
Stir up waters to catch fish. The 39th law of power.
If you can make your enemies angry while you yourself staying calm, you gain a decided advantage. Put your enemies off balance. Anger only cuts off options, and power does not thrive without options. Follow to learn more. Offered for free is dangerous. Despise the free lunch. The 40th law of power.
It usually involves some sort of trick or a hidden obligation.
What has worth is worth paying for.
It is also often wise to pay the full price.
There is no cutting corners with excellence. Be lavish with your money. Keep it circulating, as generosity is a sign and a magnet for power. Follow to learn more.
Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes.
The 41st law of power.
What happens first always appears better and more original than what comes after. If you succeed a great man or a famous parent, you have to accomplish double their achievements in order to outshine them. Do not get lost in their shadow or stuck in a past that's not your making. Establish your own name and your own identity by changing course.
Follow to learn more.
The shepherd and the sheep will scatter.
The 42nd law of power.
Trouble can always be traced to a single strong individual.
He's the stirrer, the arrogant underling,
the prisoner of goodwill.
If you allow such people room to operate, others will succumb to their influence. Do not wait for the troubles that they cause to multiply. Do not try to negotiate with them. They are irredeemable. Neutralize their influence by isolating them or banning them. Follow to learn more.
On the heart and mind of others. The 43rd law of power. Coercion creates a reaction that will eventually work against you. You must seduce others into wanting to move into your direction. A person you have seduced becomes your loyal pawn, and the way to seduce others is to operate on their psychologies and their weaknesses. Soften up the resistance by working on their emotions, playing on what they hold dear and what they fear. Ignore the hearts and minds of others and they will grow to hate you. Follow to learn more.
Charm and infuriate with the mirror effect. The 44th law of power.
The mirror reflects reality, and it is also the perfect tool for deception. When you mirror your enemies, doing exactly as they do, they cannot figure out your strategy. The mirror effect mocks and humiliates them, making them overreact. Note these two things. 1. By holding a mirror to their psyches, you seduce them by giving the illusion that you share the same values. And 2. By holding a mirror to their actions, you teach them a lesson. Follow to learn more.
Up.
You can preach the need for change, but never reform too much.
The 45th law of power.
Everyone understands the need for change in the abstract, but on the day-to-day level, people are creatures of habit. Too much innovation is traumatic and will lead to revolt. Look, if you are in a position of power or an outsider trying to build your power base, make a show of respecting the old ways of doing things. If change is necessary, make it feel like a gentle improvement of the past.
Follow to learn more.
Never ever appear too perfect.
The 46th law of power.
Appearing better than others is always dangerous. But the most dangerous of all is to appear to have no fault or weakness. Memorize this. Envy creates a silent enemy. It's a simple equation. It is smart to occasionally show defects and admit to harmless vices in order to deflect envy and appear more human and approachable. Only the legends and the dead can seem perfect with impunity.
Follow to learn more.
A goal, and when you've reached it, stop.
The 47th law of power.
Process this. The moment of victory is usually the moment of greatest danger. In the heat of victory, arrogance and overconfidence can push you past the goal that you've aimed for. And by going too far, you make more enemies than you can defeat. Do not go past the mark that you've aimed for. In victory, you have to learn when to stop. There is absolutely no substitute for strategy and careful planning.
Follow to learn more.
Assume formlessness.
The final law of power.
By taking shape or having a visible plan, you open yourself for attack. Instead of taking form for your enemies to grasp, keep yourself adaptable and on the move. Accept the fact that nothing is certain and no law is fixed. The best way to protect yourself is to be as fluid and formless as water. Never bet on stability or lasting order. Everything changes.
And with that, we conclude our series of the 48 laws of power. Comment which book I should do another series on. Follow to learn more.